Hello everyone, Antazil here, and today we'll be looking at Sweden. I'll make an extensive guide on the Kingdom of Sweden and also how to get a decent war going against the Axis. That requires quite a bit of planning, so that's what I'm here for. Iron Man, historical focuses, let's go. Now Sweden will get a decent industry, but he'll always have limited manpower, even if you get the Nordics under your control, which we will. So we'll need to build up our industry and diversify our military capacity. And with that I mean that we are both going to build armor and air force. Starting with a generic research, and I'll put the rest of the research in the description. You need to research quite a lot for Sweden, so try to keep up. And we'll be building civilian factories from the start because of the Hungerskuld national spirit. We need to have more than 45 civilian factories, including trade, to get rid of this. We'll follow up with a few pieces of infrastructure up here in the north to get more resources. That might just push us over the limit, and after that it will probably be more civs. 2 military factories on guns, and prepare a few for artillery, anti-air, and trucks, and assign the MIO to infantry equipment. We'll finish the ships we have. After that we will need a few more convoys, so we'll add those. And we'll set our current fleet, split off enabled, and exercise until I have 10 XP. Well, we have a lot of options to start with. Defense Act. We also need to stay above 68% stability. So that's a thing to keep out for. And we'll have to get 10% world support. 8% war support somewhere, but even that's a mission right now because of our national spirit Folkhemmet. Current troops all to the Militarum Rara. And just exercise level 3. We'll change these guys up later. And we'll also create an intelligence agency. Running out of oil fast, but we had a 10 XP. Defense Act is done, and we'll do urbanization, and we are picking the Farmers' Party for that right now. We don't want to lose the stability, and this guy really is no good right now. With the 10 XP, we'll edit a template for the main destroyer that we'll be using, light battery and torpedo launcher, and set that to get produced after those convoys. I've created my intelligence agency, but I'm holding off on expanding it until I have the special envoy, and I'll just make it a bit cheaper. There's no real hurry for my spies anyway, so I could have clicked that later. That's urbanization. This is now a bit of a maze because you constantly have to choose. I like to start with hygienic housing because that gives a bonus to civilian factory construction speed. Skip radio just for now until we flip non-aligned, then it's really useful. Defense above all. State paid vacation for the political power gain. I mean, this gives you more production, but we're going to have enough production anyway. Reject the saltsjobaden agreement and then the research slot. Hygienic housing. Their actual elections, and we'll go for the moderates, which gives us research speed. We don't want to keep Axel, everything's more expensive, and we're just not going with this guy. For our first PP pick, we'll be going for Thorvald Bergqvist, the Minister of Justice and Minister of State, for more PP gain. If you're just doing this guide on the fly, you notice how quickly my oil disappeared just then, so keep up with oil and synthetics. They'll be useful later. Converted the main army back to the regular template, slowly trained them up. It's not that exciting yet, but you'll see that it's all the manpower we can spare. Defense above all, state paid vacation. 100 PP, and we'll do improved worker conditions. Reject the saltsjobaden agreement. I set up a naval invasion for Tallinn. That's for much later, but better to be prepared. I'm doing my research without the MIOs for now. I really need the political power. And now we have 20 command power. We'll also get the army organization expert. Reject saltsjobaden and we'll get the research slot. Ooh, a League of Nations embargo resolution, 2% stability. You can't always get that, so I'll try to aim this guide now for keeping stability above 70. Royal Institute of Technology is here, and we'll do economic deregulation. That's a risky one though. Keep in mind that this will lower your stability by 10%, and it removes Folk Hemet, and Folk Hemet gives you 20% stability. Yeah, that's going to be tight. So this would be a good time, 125 PP, to get a special envoy. He gives 5% stability, and start working again on that intelligence agency. I'm going to build a network in Germany. 35 military experience will get professional officer corps. For democracies, relief of command is usually better, but we're going to flip soon anyway. Localized training centers, and we'll get stuff to whatever you like, but I also like to do some blueprint stealing in Germany today. Now it's economic deregulation. You can see we dropped below 68% stability. So in a few moments we're going to get the public unrest ticker. We have some time to fix this, and there's just a focus here. A civilian factory and 5% stability. Let's get that one too. We now also have sufficient war support to continue out of focus tree, but our stability takes precedent. 150 PP, and with the war support we have, we can go to partial mobilization. 70% stability, we're in the clear right now. We need more stability. We can get a tiny bit through ball bearings, but we'll do the old enemy stirs right now. This will increase party popularities for parties we don't like, and that will probably lower our stability again. The old enemy stirs. I'm in clear, but my guide is now aimed at 70% stability, so we'll do ball bearings first. That gives us a tiny bit. Otherwise, ordinarily you would be having the riot crisis again. Public unrest. That's ball bearings. We'll trade them with the United Kingdom for now, and we'll ask for their foodstuffs, because that gives 2% stability, which is just enough. Another crisis averted. We'll prevent a red dictatorship. The weekly manpower of 15 is going to save us. 100 PP, and we'll just get the humble appeaser. 10% stability, 5% minus war support. We can take it. Old enemy stirs, and we'll undermine the fascists. 75% stability. I'm expanding the main template with 1 artillery. We don't actually have it, but we'll train up. We'll appeal for supports. Rolled a few generals. I got a brilliant strategist. Sometimes you're just lucky, so I'll take him and train him up a bit. Another 150 PP, and we'll get limited conscription. Appeal for support is done, and we'll meet with the king. Now we can approach 4 different groups for their support, and they'll each give us 10% non-aligned support. Later on, we need to get 65% support for our non-aligned, and we're a bit far off from that. We got some ticking support, so we can delay, I guess, and we'll get some more here and here. Actually, we don't. Anywho, we need to click a few of those decisions. Now, all of the payback is quite nasty, except rally the rural folk. They'll just give you 5% stability. So we'll start with those guys. The industrialists give you a temporary lower consumer goods, but also lower political power gain. And that's not really good, because you need a lot of political power to make these things happen. We're already at 50%, so we'll do 1 more. And we'll try the aristocracy this time. And let's meet with the king and we'll attack landsorganisationen. King in council requires 65% non-aligned, and we're almost there. We'll just do one focus elsewhere. Government weapons contract. We have to go there anyway. Government weapons contract is done, and we'll put the king in council. And that's king in council. 79% stability, still going strong, and we'll do the counter-revolution. The humble appeaser has left us, which means we have room for our financial expert, 15% consumer goods. I'll take him. The end of 1939. This is how my research looks like right now. Engineers 2 is coming up. Range improvements for our basic fighters. And let's have a look at the tabs here. I researched trucks, kept up with my infantry. Engineers, basic mediums for flame tanks. Keeping up here, and we'll expand later. Nothing in the Navy tech. Basic small airframe and doing range expansion. I got these two, and keeping up with my industry and refining. Counter-revolution is done. That gave us a bunch of political power. We'll do improved working conditions. And we'll first scramble for the Baltic, which gives us war goals against Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. Now, the last time I did that, I actually only got a war goal against Estonia, so I'll have to look at the rest later. Also start improving relations with Denmark and Norway. That'll be important later. We got a free computing machine tech. Thanks, Germany. Alright, so here's scramble for the Baltic. We actually did get a war goal against Lithuania and Latvia right now. Declare on Estonia. War goal still there. And we'll just seize Landsverk. Let's see if our naval invasion works out. Here we go, Estonia. And that got me rid of the war goal on Latvia and Lithuania. Weird. Why does that disappear? I have the spirit to puppet one of them? Glad I figured that out. I'll submit a bug report. Alright, so that was another restart. I do want to min-max this thing after all. This time I'll just declare war on all 3 of them and invade from the north and conquer them from the south with 12 divisions. If you don't feel up to that, feel free to just do only the one, but I think I can do this. Scramble for the Baltic. Now let's have a look at the rest. You have 3 focuses here that will demand stuff from Denmark and finally Denmark itself. 2 focuses that will go after Norway, getting stuff from Norway and just joining with them all together. And 3 focuses that deal with Finland, which I like to take after the Soviets have had their tumble with them. And with this focus you can integrate them as cores because you get all of these territories as puppets, which will be good. And this takes a long time. It's already almost 1939. Germany will go after some of the Nordics, but you have this focus here, join the anti-Soviet pact, where you can get an agreement with the Germans saying we take this stuff, you take that stuff, and they will not attack Denmark and Norway for 2 years. So that's cool too. We'll start the Bornholm crisis, which has a high likelihood of it being accepted if they have a high opinion of us. Army stronger and 40% worse war support. In fact, I'm saying all that, but I'll do another focus first because I'm still at war. We'll seize Landsverk. Gotta get that out of the way anyway. Alright, let's go for the entire full group and declare war on all of them. Naval invasion is launching. Set the Navy to naval invasion support. That's that, and we'll puppet with resource rights and war operations. I've got a reserve army here of the reserve template. I'll put them on the border here so I can move the other guys out for another naval invasion. And here we go. Naval invasion support. Do radio chants for more stability in these dark times. We do have public unrest looming. I am sort of on a time limit here to finish some stuff off. This is not good. Ah, here's Hunger Skull gone. That's a good timing. That means we can also quit doing a lot of these civilian factories. We'll finish those we have here. And build a few military factories. Just a few. That's Latvia. Same recipe. Joining up the two armies under one general, which I'm training to be my best general. In this timeline, he's an inflexible strategist, not a brilliant one, but he'll have to do. And there is the third Baltic brother, taken down. Swedish Estonia, Swedish Latvia, and Swedish Lithuania. It got us a nice amount of guns as well, so that's happy. And the battles weren't too hard. You could see I can easily win this. It takes a little bit more time than I would have wanted, but that's all right. Bornholm Crisis is up next. This is about the time where you can start using your political power also to use MIOs, but you can see we've been on the tight timetable with the industry as well. And we still need to do that increased military budget thing here, which will eat away more political power. Getting some more manpower, I'm going to train more reserve divisions. This is all just in case Norway says no. Then I need a lot of reserve divisions to cover the front line, which in Norway's case is just huge. But more than likely they'll just fold and give me what I want. Denmark gives up Bornholm. Stuff's going down over here, so I'd better do that joint anti-Soviet pact. Also need to build a few synthetics here. Actually more than this, but I'm creating more slots. And Chief of the Air Force. Yep. Fuel refining free. Oh, thanks. Those are costly things to discover. And the Soviet Pact is done, and we'll do the demand Atlantic resource rights. You can see we now have a non-aggression pact with Germany. But that doesn't stop me from putting spies in their territory. Denmark hands over Danish overseas territories, now for Denmark itself. Meanwhile, World War II is kicking off, Poland joins allies, and I'm just gobbling up the Nordics. We got more build slots now. Let's fill up with a few more synthetics and military factories. Soviet Union declares on Finland. We'll improve relations with them. I find it's quite alright to demand Gotland here while at war. Even got it from the Soviets once they accidentally took it. Going to build a self-propelled artillery with this template. Yes, I'm going to do Space Marines or mixed divisions. I'm going to mix these in with my infantry divisions to give them quite a bit more muscle. These will be my mainstay, so I'll just have to create some less of the other stuff. I have enough other stuff anyway. Danish alignment. We move to puppet Denmark, and Iceland is also our puppet now, so that's great. We'll now resolve the Åland issue. I said Gotland earlier, didn't I? Oh well. The Åland issue and Finland caves. We are now proud owners of this small island. Well, it has build slots, so we can make use of it. Next up, we have Denmark gone. Norway is next, and then we will finish off Finland. Probably best to do that after the White Peace event anyway. Building up political power. You have to keep in mind that this one's coming up. But since that will give me a debuff, I'd like to get this one first to core the Nordics. Finland seeks Swedish support. Give them those volunteers. It's manpower, but you know, their opinion is also something worthwhile. Norway caves. We get a piece of Norway, and now I just want all of Norway. Equipment conversion. Well, we can't be lucky all the time. Now we're going for collaboration governments to the max. Improving Marines. We'll be using them to go into Germany later. United Kingdom of Norway and Sweden succeeds. Swedish Norway is now a thing. Let's get those cores. And we get even more factories. Oh man, too many factories. I can get some more anti-air. War on Kingdom of Romania. Hungary and the Allies. Yeah, sure, whatever. Are the Finns forgetting they should get a white piece at some point? I need that white piece. And we are a new color and renamed. I need Finnish demilitarism. I think they'll not do that once they're at war. So I'll just have to wait and do something else first. We got this entire tree to go to the next research slot, so we'll entertain ourselves, but I do hope we're getting an event here. Meanwhile, we can integrate some territories. Swedish Norway, Swedish Denmark, and Iceland. We also now have the technology to make some new planes. We should also get an air force out there. This is the model I usually go with for the 1940 fighters. Heavy machine guns and some defensive stuff. It's fairly expensive, but we have the industry. We'll produce it with SAP, which we will improve later, and just build a ton of those. I'm not building CAS just yet. I want to get an air force worthy of fighting the Germans first. And we need some rubber. Go for land or air warfare. Germany cancels non-aggression treaty. Oops. September 1940. Finland Soviet white peace event doesn't seem to be firing this time. That makes my game a little harder, but I guess I can still progress with it. At some point the Germans will attack the Soviets in 1941. I'm not sure if that's dependent on the white peace of Finland. Our plan will be to invade Germany on this side near Hamburg with Marines, place Space Marines on that border and slowly expand while killing Germans. Norway integrated, that's all fine. Strictly speaking, we can go over the Kalmar Union here. It doesn't give us any more cores and we'll lose this cool name and color, so we'll just keep it with this. Finland's still holding. What's their current status anyway? Well, that's not good for them. They don't have this manpower. Now, what I'm going to do is send in the Marines to do the actual naval invading, because Space Marines, contrary to their name, aren't really good at that. And I will create a Space Marine template of the regular template, medium SP artillery, anti-air, and the flame tank, because why not? Give these guys another icon so I can tell them apart. We actually still have a surplus of these things now, because this is an entire army of these guys. Do have to spread them out a little. A few reservists here, and a few on this border here. What I'll do is we'll do the naval invasion here around Hamburg, and immediately the Space Marines will take over the front line while we're training up a second army of Space Marines. If we are producing that much SP artillery, what I kind of want to do is make bigger Space Marines. Why is my supply terrible in Sweden, of all places? I'm on a supply hub here. I mean, I'll spread these guys out even more, but this isn't supposed to be happening. I'll do standardized equipment. That's actually an important one, because you need to replace and get rid of that severe lack of ammunition. And let's have a look. How are the Marines doing? Can we expand them a little? Yes, we can. We'll make them a classic 7-2, but it's a marine. And give them the support detachments they need. How are my deficits looking? I don't believe it. I don't have any deficits. Marines are set to go around Wilhelmshaven. I actually managed to finish the Marine Doctrine. Well, almost. One more left. I think I have enough SP artillery to add a second one to my battalions. Well, almost. It'll be fine. And we're up for the final research slot. Germany should be going for war with the USSR about now, and yes, they are. Going in without Finland, they're still in their eternal struggle. Their first collaboration government with Germany is finished. Oh no, wait, that's the second one already. Excellent. Germany declares on the Soviet Union. I think that's my cue to justify on Germany. Yes, they are guaranteed by Japan. Pretty much done with focus tree here. Finland stuff is still out there. Might look at that later. But for now we'll just improve all the military and other stuff here. Justification is complete. Do or die. Let's see if the naval invasion is launching. It is. So we'll set the main fleet to naval invasion support and the submarines to convoy escorts. USA joins allies. We got the port. Send in space marines and use the other guys to expand here. And here come the really good troops. And the Marines, they will try to get Hamburg and cut off some forces there. As you can see, it's a long and tough fight this way, but you can also see 44k casualties and already 300,000 inflicted on the Germans. I have complete air superiority. All the German air force is elsewhere. Gee, I wonder where. Leningrad has been captured by the Finns. Finally, the white peace with Finland is fired. Let's see if we can make use of that by grabbing some pieces of Finland. Finish demilitarization. Of course, we are in no position to actually conquer Finland should they refuse, but we'll see about that later. This is a nice pocket. Closing in on 1 million. Ah, the Germans have arrived with their air force. Fortunately, mine is better. February 42, and we can finally go to war economy. Let's see what happens here. Yes, they did not accept demilitarizing, they did accept puppeting. So now we have a Finnish puppet. Yep, it's ours. Which means we can still integrate Swedish Finland and form the entire Nordics. It's about a year or two later, but still we shouldn't be unhappy. Let's save up political power for that. And another 20 or so divisions encircled, ready to be destroyed. Leeuwarden and Groningen liberated are, well, integrated into Sweden. Germany is becoming easier to encircle and break. No air superiority left. The Swedes rule the skies. The fall of Rome. Well, that complicates matters. I would have liked the Italy puppet myself, but alright. There goes Berlin, fallen to the Swedish troops. And that's the Italian Civil War. I mean, I can check, but it's a British puppet. Germany on 99%. And here we are, Germany defeated. Now, if you're a little faster than I am, and this was already pretty fast actually, or more lucky than I am, and you got the Italian puppet, you can capitulate Germany before you capitulate Italy. Then the collaboration government fires, and you have a free Germany. This is somewhat less lucky. I have to take Germany first, then create a collaboration government, but that's just what I'll do. No longer my concern. Swedish Germany. Yes, yes. We finally got some manpower too. We can now use German manpower. And we're soon integrating Finland. I'm going to end the video here. I've created a hefty Swedish kingdom with a beautiful German puppet, which I can drain for about 2 million manpower. Well, that is just about in time. I'm surrounded by allies and Soviets, so this game can continue. And I'm going to ask you for 500 likes, and then I'll continue this save game and take out the allies. That's the allies including the United States of America. Well, they're in there. So it's up to you. You want me to continue? Gather up your friends and get me 500 likes. I have 300,000 subscribers, so that should be possible, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.